It's brought down. Maybe we'll talk because it's cold. It's brought down Reishis Chachma. There's a Yidua. It's brought down M'Shem Baal Shem that one tefillas mikvah is on him. Now, if a person says the mikvah is very dirty and it's not hygienic to go into this mikvah, so Baal Shem says one dunk is on me. It's nishaten. It's not going to hurt one dunk. So I said in Reishis Chachma Taka. Reishis Chachma brings down about Mayin Kara, about cold water. That if a person goes into the mikveh and the water is very cold, so he says he guarantees. He doesn't say he guarantees. He says guarantee that you're not going to get sick from one time in the mikveh, even if it's very cold. Because the mikveh is Shem Havaya, the whole thing, and it brings the force, so therefore one mikveh is. So we'll talk a little about mikveh again. The tachlis, what we want to do in the Mezer Hashem in the next short while, some people want to go to the very high madrigas, but some people are still holding on the lower madrigas, and there's a big shine of what we're doing, how we're doing this. So we thought you have to talk between each other to decide what the decision is. I'm going to go wherever Mevakshei Hashem and decide where you go. Talk a little bit, a few more things, nafshestic things. And the way to learn nafshestic things, more yisoidus of nefesh, is to learn the Teves of Hashem. Because you do that in the nimshal of Teves, that the mashal Teves Arizal is a mashal, and the nimshal is explained in Olam Shana Nefesh. Olam is derech Arashash, and Shana is the derech of the Gra and the Ramchal, and Nefesh is derech of Hashem. These are the four drachim of interpretation of Teves Ari. And the Arizal, to understand the Teves Ari, in its nimshal, is through derech of Hashem, is the Nefesh. So the Arizal talks about in Kavanah Mikvah, which the Ari says, Machal, in general, for any type of asaga, a person has to go into the mikvah. So the Arizal talks a lot about, especially for tikkun for kas, which is gematria mikvah, gematria kana, gematria shemei v'muluya, that there's an idea of going dafka to a mikvah when a person has kas, and to mechavan the name of Shem Eker. It's brought down M'Shem Baal Shem. This is one of the only kavanahs that we have from the Baal Shem. Kavanah of mitzvahs. It's kavanahs Baal Shem and mikvah. It's brought down. There's also kavanahs Baal Shem on Tkir Shofar and mikvah. There's very few things that we know that it's kavanahs Baal Shem. What was the Baal Shem's idea of how a person should enter into this place? And it's brought down the Siddur Alter Rebbe. The Levi, the Chernobyl, a lot of people bring down this, Malach, bring down this idea of the Baal Shem. So Bekitzer, there's a shame Yavuk. One of the shames is Yud Beis Kuf, and this shame is connected to Yichud, Bracha, and Kedusha. There's also some place already. Yichud, Bracha, Kedusha. It's an acronym. It's a Rosh Teves for Yichud, Bracha, Kedusha. Yichud means when you're making a Yichud with something. Bracha is to recognize that it's a blessing. It's a bracha. And Kedusha therefore becomes holy. We also know from the Teves of Hashem, it's brought down in many places, especially in Kavanah, that there's, in terms of a person's avodah, a person's development, there's three stages. The first stage a person has to do is achna. The second stage a person has to do is avdallah. And the third stage a person has to do is amtaka. Achna, avdallah, amtaka. These are three stages. Achna, very bekitzer, means like this. Achna means to machnia yourself to the situation that you have. Let's say a person has machshavas zaros. Or let's say a person is struggling with anger. A person is struggling with this midah or another midah. Or b'chai, you have machshavas. It's not even midas. There's something going on. Achda means that I acknowledge this is the person that I am right now. These are machshavas, these are my thoughts, this is me that's having these thoughts. I'm having these feelings, this is me that's having these feelings. So the first thing is achda means to submit and to humbly accept the situation that you are right in this present moment. Because you can't move forward, you can't forgive if you can't forget if you can't remember first. So first you have to first own it. Own it. The second stage is the most important, this level, is Havdalah. What's Havdalah? Havdalah means that you tell yourself, okay, I have these machshavas, I have these midas, I have these feelings, I have these sensations, I have these expressions. This is all things that I have, but it's not who I am. I am not my thoughts. I have these thoughts, but I'm not my thoughts. I have these feelings, but I'm not my feelings. If there's the experiencer and there's the experience. If I am experiencing a sensation, then there's an I that's experiencing that sensation. If I'm experiencing a thought, then there's an I that's having the thought. Right? If I tell you, think, watch yourself, observe yourself having a thought. So who's the you that's observing the thought? Who's the self that's having a thought? That's the experiencer. Then you're going to say, and who's having that thought? So there's a deeper level experiencer. Until you reach a point where you can stop asking that question and you're just pure awareness. Which means that everything in our own consciousness, in every single level, in machshava, dibur, ma'aser, every single thing, you can identify with your feeling. Let's say I'm feeling anger. I feel anger. I'm the anger. Or you can say, me, that's beyond anger, is having a feeling that's being angry. Right? That's the Havdalah. The Havdalah is the separation, the recognition that this is a feeling that you're having. It's not who you are. That's very important to understand because sometimes people get stuck into their own machshavas and their own bulbulum. They start thinking, I'm a confused person, or I'm a terrible person, or I have these terrible thoughts. No. You have them. That's not who you are. So the Havdalah step is the separating. The third step is the Hamtaka, which is the sweetening, which is the third process which you re-own those machshavim, those thoughts, those feelings, and those sensations, but now you do it in a healthy way. So let's see how the Baal Shem Tov actually uses this, but in a little different way, where he uses it with Kavanah Mikvah, we just spoke about a few minutes ago, where he uses this in the different names of Hashem. So the Torah is brought out in Kedushas Levi, and this is what it says. This is when you enter into the mikvah. Now the truth is, before you ever even enter into the mikvah, you have to misbash, you have to take off your levushim, right, in order to go into the mikvah. So this could also be a kavanah. When your person is taking off the levushim, it's not only you're taking off physically, you're taking off your shirt. But we know that machshav v'dibur ma'aser is considered your levushim, the levushim hanefesh. So when a person is taking off, you have to actually also think, you have to have kavanah, that when you're taking something off, you're actually physically taking a certain garment off your body. But you're mentally also getting rid of a certain thing. Let's say you're struggling with this particular thing, or this thing is bothering you, or this person is bothering you, or this issue is bothering you. So you're mispashat your levushim, you're also mispashat in your consciousness what that is. Right? So you're taking off, you're letting go. Maybe you're dropping the garment, you're putting it on the floor, you're putting it on the bench, which is the idea of ispashtus. You're feeling yourself free. You're freeing yourself from these garments. Then you actually enter into the mikvah. So he says three things. That there's three names. The three names is Shem Adnai, Shem Avaya, and Shem Eka. B'mikvah hagag shel mikvah neged Shem Eka, dal rucha shel mikvah neged dal oisha Shem Avaya, v'akarka mikvah neged Shem Adnai. Gimel Shem es ele b'gimatria Shem Yavok, u'rosh Teves yichud bracha v'kedusha. Yechavan libe levakshei HaKadosh Baruch Hu sheikonos lekabel hakdusha v'atara lemachshaftoi lekoiloi u'lediburoi. Machshaftoi, koiloi, diburoi corresponds to those three names, which is Adonai, Shem Havaya, and Shem Eker. Okay, this is the Torah of the Klolos, what it means. What does it mean? What does Ataka mean in Nefesh Adam? The Nefesh Adam means like this. The difference between, the Maharal also speaks about this, the difference between a person that's a land creature, someone that has to breathe, and the person that goes into water, what's the chiluk? That when a person that has to breathe enters himself into water, they cease to exist. The tzuras Adam stops to be, because the tzuras Adam, the formation, the form of a person, is they have to breathe in order to exist. The moment they go in the water, they lose the tzuras Adam. What is the chiluk between Afar, the Yisod Afar, and Yisod Mayim? The basic difference in Yisod Afar and Yisod Mayim is Yisod Afar is something that's tangible. It has a very particular tzura, right? It has a form. Every grain of sand has a very particular tzura. And the tzura of that thing is stationary. It's sitting still, right? So it has a particular tzura, and the tzura is in a stationary position. It's sitting still. What's the nature of water? The nature of water is that it's built in tzura. It doesn't have form. And it's only makabel tzura when it enters into a certain dimension. If you put water in a cup, so now it has a tzura of the cup. If the water is flowing through a particular river, so it looks like now the river. But the mayim itself has no tzura. It lacks a tzura. Then the other idea is pachas kamayim, that mayim represents something that's constantly moving. Water is always in a state of flow, and it's always mishtana tzura. It's always changing the tzura. It has no tzura, but it's mishtana tzura. It changes the tzura. It's interesting that this is the idea of water, that it, in contrast to Afar, which is stationary and has a tzura, Mayim is not stationary, it's moving and it doesn't have a tzura. What is the normal, how's the shape of a normal mikvah? How do people, what's the shape of a mikvah? Huh? What?
It's a cube.
Why? Where is it, you know where it comes from? You ever saw a round mikvah? They don't make round mikvahs. Why don't they make round mikvahs? So it also is brought down Sefer Kabbalah. It's brought down really Sefer Aboyer. Then Rish Chachmik speaks about it, and other Sefer Kabbalah talk about it. Because it has to be, it's a mem stuma. It's a mem stuma. It's like a shloss mem. That's the shape of a mikvah. It has to do like a box. Now it has to do with mayim and mem sa, also connected with water, but it's particularly in a box shape. There's a Gemara in Yerushalmi that says Eimeru Ma'aser Bereishis. According to Yehuda, it's like Chum, and whether it means everything, but there's the idea that Eimeru Ma'aser Bereishis means there's nothing natural in this world that's square. There's nothing natural in this world that's square. Snowflake could be square, so it's a shiloh, but not really. Okay, but there's nothing square in the universe. This is what it says. Eimeru Ma'aser Bereishis. What's the first Tzimtzum? Who knows? Not asking for her. What's the first Tzimtzum? The Tzimtzum Rishon before the known Tzimtzum that Ariel speaks of. But then there's Tzimtzum Amaruba, and there's the Tzimtzum that we know is a Tzimtzum. The Tzimtzum Rishon is called the Tzimtzum of the circle. But then there's Tzimtzum Amaruba. There's a Tzimtzum of the square. And after it was unfolded, and there was the Gilui of the letter Yud. Huh? Right? So the idea, what does it mean? Well, let's try to understand this. What this means. It means that mitzidoi kaviyachol, mitzad HaKadosh Baruch Hu, there's no merubah b'inspiration. Mitzidoi, everything is circle. Circle means that it's ein soif. Machal means there's no rosh soif. It's a circular reality. Circular reality means that there's no beginning, there's no end. Something that's square has ksavas, has dimensions. So the first tzimtzum was Nizgala, was Meruba. The first tzimtzum of the Oyer Sof, what was revealed was a square. Now how do you make a mikvah? You take a mikvah is you take water that has a built-in tzura, and you dafka put the water in a square, in a final mem, a schloss mem, which is the tzura of meruba. So you're taking dafke and making a meruba, and that's dafke also the Beis Hamikdash was meruba, and the Aron was meruba, and the luchas were meruba. Everything is dafke taking something and you're making it into a box. So what this means is like this. So hold this thought for a second, that the mayim is built tzura, but you're placing the mayim that has built tzura, that doesn't have form, you're dafke putting it into a square that is considered a box, which is our participation in creation. Our participation in creation is also the Mikvah Shat Mesaychem. We create the Beis Hamikdash, we create the Mishkan, which means that we're taking circular reality and making them into square, because that's our reality. Our reality is square. Our reality is dimensionality. That's the squareness. Okay. Let's go back to the three shemas. You have the Shem Adnai. The Shem Adnai means the floor that you're standing on. That's one level. Which means that's your world of Dibur. What is the world of Dibur? Dibur is not only speech. Dibur means your expression. How are you expressing yourself in this world? How are you expressing yourself in this world? What's your machshavas? What is your diburim? What is your maisim? How are you manifesting yourself in this world at this present moment? That's your Shem Adnai. That's internally, that's the name Adnai. How are you manifesting yourself? How are you revealing yourself in this present moment? And be honest about it. You're standing on the karka of the mikvah. You're standing in that place. You're saying, right this present moment, B'asher Hu Sham, right in this moment, how am I being expressed in this moment? Who am I? That's the shaila of the Shem Adnai. Then you look around on the waters of the mikvah. Before you're looking at the Dalet Tzavos, which is going to be the square, you're just looking at the water. What does the waters represent? The waters represent Shem Havaya. What's Shem Havaya? Shem Havaya is Hoy V'yeh Ke'echad. Shem Havaya is Maim Shein L'Msaf, which means it's infinite. Infinite. What's Shat infinite in our own nafshestic level? The infinite madreget with our own nafshestic is if Shem Adnai is your yeshes, your expression, your yesh, how you're manifesting. What is your Shem Havaya? Your Chelek Havaya Amoy. What's the Chelek? What's the Havaya Amoy? What's the Chelek of the Havaya? The Shem Havaya within you. That's the beginners of Ayin. Ayin means I'm not defined by being Chaim Yankel, Moshe Shmuel, by being this person's husband, this person's wife, this person's father, this person's child. This is all these machshavas and these diburim and these thoughts and these struggles. This is not who I am. I have these things. I'm also a child, also a father. These are all things that I have, but I'm not that. I am part of the infinite Boy Olam. I'm part of the Eibush. And mitzad that level of Shem Hashem, everything's possible. It's Maim Shein L'Msaf. There's no. I can't put a definition. What am I? Am I this? Am I that? What's the Eibush Kaviyachol? There's no. You can't quantify it. You can't say this is this mitzvah and that mitzvah. And this is the only thing that a person has to think in their own nefesh. Stop defining yourself by who you think you are, by your machshavas, or your diburim, or your maisim, or the way you're manifesting yourself in this world, and start saying, at right this point in the mikveh is, I'm Ein Sof. I'm mechubat to the Ein Sof, and I'm Ein Sof. What does a nafshestik do? All of a sudden you let go of everything. All the struggles, all the issues that you're having, all the problems that you're having, all the machshavas, and all the things that you have, all of a sudden you're free. You're floating. What happens? The tzura Adam. You're a tzura Adam. This is my form. This is who I am. I go into the water and I immerse myself completely under the water. What happens to me is I lose my tzura Adam. I lose my form. What does I lose my form? I'm not me, because I can't breathe. So I can't exist. I can't manifest. So I'm nothing. That's the second level to reach. That second level is to be under the water of the mikveh. Under the water of the mikveh, you're mizbatel your tzura, and you have no tzura. So I have these thoughts. Let's try to think conceptually. If you want to do this as a kavanah, you say, I feel all these issues, and I'm feeling them. And you step back and you're just observing them. You're feeling anger? Stand back and watch your anger. You're feeling this machshava? Stand back and watch this machshava. You're feeling pain? Stand back and watch this machshava. Watch this pain. You're stepping back from your life. You're doing havdalah. You're doing a separation. So the ani pnimi is the nefesh adam. The ani pnimi is the ayin, and the ayin is the stepping back and observing. You're becoming an observer of your life, but very objectively. And it's infinite. You have these machshavas, these but you can have other machshavas, other diburim. You have this life, you can have the other life. Right? That's the second level, which is to unstuck yourself of the tumah, whatever things that you're holding on to, whatever kind of tumah. Tumah means something that's sasum, something that's that's blockages, something that's not ketzma shemayim l'toyer, it's soyer tas l'teva. Toyer means that it's lichtik, it's flowing, it's transparent. Anything that's holding you back, I'm tired. I'm free. I'm Ein Sof. I'm connected to Ein Sof. I'm Ein Sof. That's the second shame, which is shame avai, which is the mind that's floating around you. But the mind that's floating around you, which has no tsura, is dafka placed into a final mem, which means it's dafka something that's meruba, which is something that's defined, that has kasavas. Why? This is why the ikr name is Shem Eka. And that's why in the Torah Sari, the ikr name of the mikvah is Taka Shem Eka. Because what does Shem Eka mean? Shem Eka is where's the tara of the mikvah occur? The tara of mikvah occurs not when you're in the mikvah. The tara is a person becomes Torah, because the Mishnah writes, is a person becomes Torah as they're leaving the mikvah. When a person is leaving the mikvah, that's when you're actually becoming Torah. As you're leaving the gag of the mikvah, the head of the top of the mikvah, the top of the water, when you're emerging yourself out of the water, that's when you become Torah. What does that mean? It means because the tachas kavanah is not you should be under the water in the bechina of ayin, because then the Eibushish could already do malachim, then you have to create human beings. What's the tachas kavanah? The tachas kavanah is that you should emerge out of the mikvah. You should come from the mind. You should come that yimavdu mayim l'mayim. There should be rakia. There should be al-bashar. There should be yesh. There should be existence. There should be manifest reality. The water taka covers the whole world in the beginning. That's ayin, and then the yesh starts emerging. That's the tachas kavanah. You have to get out of the mikvah. But to get out of the mikvah, shem eka. What is shem eka? Shem eka means it's a definition, but not who I am, but who I will become. Eka, asher eka. I will become who I will become. I'm not a being, I'm becoming. Being means I'm defined by the being that I am right now. Becoming means I'm defined by the person that I will become. But you have to have a working definition of who's you're becoming. Who? Okay, so fine. You're not being. Fine. That's the Shem Adonai. You dunked yourself into the mikvah, the Yudke Vavke, you're infinite. You emptied yourself of all machshavas, all diburim, all your life. Okay, so who do you want to become? So you have to have some type of definition in your mind, because the tachas kavanah is to take the mind and put it into a meruba, and to put it into a square. The tachas kavanah is actually to live in the world that's square. To come down and say, okay, so who am I in a healthy way, in a wholesome way? And that's tam taka. That's the sweetening. The sweetening is the re-engaging with your personality, with who you are, connecting to that aspect of who you are in a healthy way, in a wholesome way. So okay, so taka, so I'm a father. So what does it mean? I'm a husband. So what does it mean? In a healthy way, not with all the guilt and all the problems and all the issues. Okay, that you got rid of it. You went to the mikveh, there's no more tumah. Now you're tired. You're becoming tired, you're becoming open and easy and flowing. Okay, but I also have identity. In this, I want to assume this identity. I want to be a good father, I want to be a good husband, I want to be a good child. I want to be all these things. Right? I want to be a good yid, I want to be sagas, whatever everyone has their shifas. So this is the shem eka that's becoming. This B'Kolos is the three shemus that the Baal Shem Tov writes, that was very strict on time. The three shemus that Baal Shem Tov writes, we should have kavanah in the mikvah. The first again is Shem Adonai, which is the place that you're standing on. This is where you are. then the Shem Abaya, which is this infinite space that is surrounding you, and then the Shem Eke, which is I'm becoming who I'm becoming as a person, which is moving out of the mikveh to define yourself. So we know also that a mikveh, there's just like there's a mikveh in Zman, there's a mikveh in Mokim, there's a mikveh in Zman, Yom Kippur is a mikveh in Zman, mikveh Yisrael Hashem. That there's a mikveh in Zman, there's also a mikveh in Nefesh Adam. So we're going to try to go to the mikveh now. This is what we're going to do. This is going to be the Kavanah. I don't know how we're going to get 45 minutes out of this Kavanah, but we're going to try to do what we can. And so Moshe is on a very strict schedule. We're going to try to do this now.
Mikvah's supposed to be chilly.
Huh?
Mikvah's supposed to be chilly, you said last time.
About it, as I said, that's why we started talking about it. It has to be kar. Yeah, and it's gesund. For one tefillah, it's going to be gesund. So what I want to say is like this. Yeah, everyone should, before we start, there's going to be three shlavim there. Every shlav we're going to stop for a few moments. We're going to meditate. And we're going to have kavanah on the first shlav. The first shlav is Shem. I would say before you even do the shlav, try to imagine yourself that you're going towards the mikveh. What's the most simple garments that you can get rid of? The most simple levushim that you can just drop. As you're moving closer to the mikveh, what's the most simple levushim that you can drop? And whatever's going on in your life, whatever's happening, start to drop those things. That's the first thing. And as you're going into the water, it could be a very cold mikveh. As you go into the water, step and feel the ground, and feel the earth, and try to think about who am I right now as a person, and own all those things, whatever it is that's going on in your life, to do a complete achna of your life. Okay, so this is the situation now. Not what I want to become, and not what I have my dreams. And again, what's right now the situation, and own it. You have to own it. You have to really take responsibility and own it. And then the second step, which is the harder step, harder nafshistik, even though the first, harder conceptually, even though the first one is harder nafshistik, to own it. The second one is, we're going to try to do this, try to follow first, let go of everything as much as you can, and then just try to start letting go also in your machshava. So, what we did, ashkata, basically, try to, any machshava that comes to mind, try to observe it, and go back to some type of focal point, whatever that focal point is. Try to create, say, a few words. You can say, we spoke about from the PSS, so you can take something like a small thing. So you have a focal point, and just watch the machshava happening, and just let it drop. Watch the feeling come up, and just let it drop. Everything that comes up, let it drop. So first you do it with things that are immediately involved in your life. Like, okay, I'm struggling with this person, or this issue. Okay, that's not me. That's this is what I'm engaged now in. But that's not who I am. I'm higher than this. I'm separate from it. I can practice Havdalah from it. But then when you get more subtle, more quiet, try to actually do this also with your actual machshavas and your midas. You follow? The second level? And then we'll get a little bit deeper and say, okay, so this is all good, you're free, you're very good, in a very good place. Okay, so you have to start collecting yourself. So who do I want to become? What's the Shem Eka? What's the becoming part of me? How am I developing? How am I becoming that person? To recollect and do a shtickl amtaka of yourself. So we're gonna start now. Whoever knows what to do will know what to do. I don't think it's a good matzah that it's very cold because you can't fall asleep. So that's okay. Say it. Everyone chaps, what has to be done? Okay, so first is to imagine you're walking down. Do this in a stream of water, maybe it's easier, nicer. You're walking alone in the forest. There's no one there. You see it from a distance, it's very peaceful, it's very quiet. From a distance you see like a stream of water floating. It's not. And as you're getting close to the stream of water, You're wearing different garments. Things are weighing you down. Things that are heavy, that you feel burdened by. And it's physically stifling. It's maybe parnasa, zoom, nachas, or something, or even avodas Hashem is something that's holding you and feeling very, very heavy weight. As you're getting closer, just feel yourself pulling off different levushim, outer garments, and they become reflective of things that are going on more in your eternal life. If you can shed these things easily, you just let them go. Give it up. It's the Eibishter's world. Take the baggage and give it back to the Eibishter. It's like Shabbos. Return the baggage to Hashem. As you're moving closer to the water, you can feel the coldness. Slowly, gently walk down into the stream of water. And it's up to your waist, it's mid-body, water surrounding you. But you feel your feet very much anchored on the ground, on the floor that you're standing on. Try to have machshava of everything that's going on in your life right now, things that you're struggling with, things that are going on in your life. And if it's ruchnis or gashmis, whatever it is in your life, just own it, take responsibility for it. Don't try to blame another person, another situation. It's this person's fault or that person's fault. Sometimes maybe it's a little painful to own those things. But you have to own it. Achniya yourself. You humble yourself to accept it. Slowly imagine yourself now immersing yourself total in the mikvah, total completely submerge yourself, your entire body in holy water. And your entire tzuras adam, your entire being of what you define yourself, or who you define yourself as a person, is completely lost. You're not a father, you're not a son, you're not a writer, you're not a musician, you're not a you're not a teacher, you're not a businessman, you're nothing. It's ayin. You're connected to Ein Sof. I'm Shem himself. Pure potential. Not only nafshis, but also try to empty yourself of all your machshavas. If any thoughts come to your mind, praise maybe Rebbeinu Shalom, something over and over again very quietly. That holds your attention and focuses your attention. Every thought that comes up that slowly fades away. Every sensation, every emotion that comes up slowly just disappears. Very deep, as much as you can, to a place where it becomes completely still. It's not that you don't have machshavas, but machshavas are not you. It's not that you don't have feelings, but feelings are not you. It's not that you don't have identity, but identity is not you. Very peaceful, very at ease with your life. This is a total of total separation from everything. Nothing's phasing you, nothing's bothering you, nothing's troubling you. Yourself entangled with your thoughts, entangled with your emotions. Itself is connected with Hashem, the source of all life, all potential. Completely free. Now try to start imagining yourself emerging out of the Mikvah, emerging out of this empty space, out of this iron. So who taka do you want to become? You push it with the Ein Sof and you become anything. koyach. You have to reassume the identity that you have, but from a place of detachment, a place of Abdullah. You don't get bogged down and torn and conflicted. But you feel free to choose to be a father, to be a husband, to be Oved Hashem. Free to choose your life. Free to choose your life as a Yid. And every day you have to choose again to be a Yid. Not because you have to, because you want to. Because you feel like it's the right thing to do to be that person. The real tahara, this is the real purity. When you can create a mind that doesn't have a tzura, you can put it into a box. It still remains no tzura, but it has a box. This is your life. This is your neshama and your guf. Neshama is free and infinite, and always davuk. Your guf is the life that you're living, story and your narrative and your life and your definitions. That's a built-in tzura and a tzura in every moment. It's Maim Shem himself that's in the tzura. Tachlis Kavanah is the intention of creation. That you should live in this world, in the yesh of this world, from a healthy place of ayin. Chaburah.